Rock and roll.
Hi there. We're trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
You were so cute as a blonde last week. Lord. Here we are.
All right.
We are together again. Hi, Richard. Thank you for running camera for us.
Hi, Richard.
It's awesome.
Well,
And what number show is tonight?
252.
I don't hear myself.
253, 254.
Mike, give me some sound.
300.
How do I sound?
253.
I don't hear you.
uh-oh.
How is your sound, James? I got you.
All right.
Yes.
I got
sir.
you.
I got you.
hear
Watch
me?
your
Yeah.
knees.
Oh.
Mikey,
Yeah.
sound.
I sounded a little quiet last week, too.
You sound good now. You're
Okay.
way up.
Good.
All
right.
Me, I'm always too loud.
Yeah.
Joshua?
Hi.
Hi, Josh. Give me some more.
No.
Give me some more, Josh.
I will not. Hi.
No,
Hi, everyone.
okay,
How
that's-
are you
That's
today?
good. James?
Yeah, what? I wasn't paying attention.
And Steve.
How do I sound?
Steve?
How do I sound?
I think it's because the mains are way down, but
Turn,
it's safer
turn
that
the
way.
main up a little more.
No, I don't want the mains
That's-
up. Everybody say
Not
something
that
together.
main. They're individual.
Something
ones.
together.
Something together.
Okay, I'm not
Something
gonna
together,
risk
yeah.
it. I don't want it. Okay. Oh Lord, I hate sound. Can I mention 253 shows and I don't have sound. Scotty, you need to move to St. Louis.
Yeah.
We need,
Yeah, give up beautiful Colorado, you know. And
Oh my God, James is really loud now. 1, 2, 3, 4. James, tell you about Colorado again.
what about Colorado?
Okay, you're good. All right, ready, set, go. We have Josh.
You have sound?
Just give me a countdown.
Are we ready? Okay.
Now that
Here we
have
go.
sound.
That's from last
3,
week.
Okay.
2, 1.
The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you. And by GL Robotics. With over 61 colors of 3D printing filaments in stock, your gateway to new technology. Check out their website at glroboticsusa.com. Further support is provided by Microengineering, keeping you on track with quality products for 55 years. Check out their website at www.microengineering.com. Order from your local dealer or order direct by calling 1-800-462-6975. Additional support is provided by Spring Creek Model Trains, your destination for model trains. Stop in and say, wow. Check out their website at springcreekmodeltrains.com. And by Intermountain Railway Company, where the detail makes the difference. Check out their website at intermountain-railway.com. Additional support is provided by Yelsma Graphics, America's leading distributor of quality railroad art and embroidered clothing since 1985. Check out their website at yelsma.com. Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at ncedcc.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast.
This is the What's Neat This Week show in model roading, show number 253 for November 4th, 2023. I'm your host, Ken Patterson, the host of the What's Neat show over at Model Road Hobbyist Magazine. And no, I don't have December done yet, but when I do, I will tell you about it. It's getting done. Lord.
9 days. You have 9 days to finish it.
Can you do Thanksgiving for us?
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, man, I love it when you cook.
Duck à l'orange.
So this is a show about model roading, the show that you all love to tune into, work in your shop, listen to us talk. And last week was a fantastic show because we had a lot of great content.
I think so.
I think that was awesome. Plus, we were all dressed up.
We were?
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't notice.
I know, right?
Everyone said you looked like Sammy Hagar, so rock on, my friend.
Well, there
Richard,
was Robert
There is
Plant.
that
Robert
light right
Plant
there,
also.
and it's
There you
pointing
go.
over there. Can you point it at the table? That
I
one?
can't drive 55 either.
Yes, thank you. Can't drive 55.
That's copyrighted. We can't sing that.
Speaking of driving 55, I drove 55 when I paced that Amtrak engine, and we were running the same consist on the layout tonight, and about 2.5 minutes before the show it derailed because my track work is fantastic. So therefore, we don't have a train running tonight, so camera number 2 has got the track with no train, but we did run it tonight,
Yeah.
and she topped out at 104, just like the prototype.
Yeah.
And that was being pulled by the Bachmann locomotive, those beautiful modern
Yeah.
Siemens locomotives. So rock and roll,
Yep.
they are prototypically accurate with regards to speed. So something I do want to say is the 12th annual train show in Sedalia Rails Train Show took place today, November 4th, 2023. That's my father's show in Sedalia, Missouri. And they had a fantastic show. Over 550
Yeah,
people came to the show.
150 tables filled.
110
Oh.
tables sold out because what Dad told me was when we mentioned it on the show right before we went to Lombards in Chicago, that previous show that we did, his tables all sold out. It was miraculous, which has got me thinking about something that we can help promote the hobby that much further by now maybe promoting these smaller train show events that happen around the country. So what we need to do is figure out a way so I can get your contact information through readers' comments so I can contact you, find out where your show is, what the venue is, and promote your show at a very small fee of, I came up with a number, $200 per week that you want to talk about the show. And I anticipate you talking about it maybe during the month or two previous to the show. So for the smaller groups out there that are wanting to up their table sales and up attendance for a small fee of $200, we can do that. My father told me that he had dozens and dozens of people walk up to him at the show and say, I heard about your show on the What's Neat show with your son. Thank you, Dad. I love you. And that all worked out really well. So this might be a new venue for us to further promote the hobby. And that's my thoughts on that.
That sounds great.
I'd like to thank the people that have been purchasing photographs, all of the photos that I've done in the past for Athearn, and all the multitudes of companies that I have done photos for through the years. Some of my best work, some of the most beautiful stuff. I'm probably showing some of them right now because it makes for great eye candy. As many as I can fit in as I talk. If you go to Fine Art America and you look up Ken Patterson, you can purchase and hang up in your layout room some of the best works that Chris Palomares and myself and Wathers and other folks we have all done together through the years to create the best imagery that we can of models. You can also have them printed on towels and cups, and there's a multitudes of things on the website, but what got me started on that this week was there was one person that when we talked about the snow shot, the Robert Frischella photograph, that we copied that Christmas card to create the photograph for Athearn trains, right, with the Erie Lackawanna units with the sunrise and the snow. Well, Robert Frischella painted the snow. He nailed it. I added the sunrise, thinking I could add a little more pizzazz to that shot, which we did do, and it came out fantastic. Somebody bought that picture, had it framed. They spent over $200 on it, and I got sent my little commission check from Fine Art America. Thank you very much. So, and this week, another shot sold. I don't know which one, but it was a very pretty picture, I'm sure, because they're all pretty. So check it out, Fine Arts America / Ken Patterson. Yes, I'm promoting myself because, I mean, come on, they're pretty. Why not buy something for Christmas for that model railroader out there that's got everything? And if you bring or send me the shot, I'll sign it for you. Rock and roll, you have the complete package. Okay, so starting on this side, I've got Mike Buddy. Hey, Mike.
Hey, everybody.
It's good to have you on the show tonight.
Thank you.
Sitting right next to me, I got my favorite Joshua Barton.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, Joshua? Sitting right next to Joshua, we got James Regier.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, James. And sitting right next to James, we got our favorite Steve Mantilla.
Hello.
Love the shirt.
Chill.
Yes, it's an awesome shirt. So there's one more thing that Joshua wants to talk about, and that is the HON3 stuff that I made videos on that ran through the summer on how I built this HON3 layout using the Blackstone models as a basis for the layout. Now, don't get me wrong, if you watch the 4-part series, and you've watched the last 4-part series on how I just finished this Blackstone layout, which I think ran this month right now, it's running right now, we showed all the books and everything that went into the research to build these layouts and get it right. The Rio Grande Southern was an absolutely amazing layout, amazing railroad. Thank you to Otto Mears, who was a gentleman that used to own toll roads back in the day, and then he decided he was going to build a railroad to help all the mines in Colorado get their ore out and down to the stamp mills and the refining process so they could cash in on their gold. If it wasn't for Otto Mears, none of this would have happened in Colorado. The basis for the narrow gauge railroads and his financing that he got, he went to New York and he pulled off $5 million back in the year 1800s in order to start building this railroad. But the reason it was narrow gauge was because all of the investors at the time were from England. They were from Europe. And in Europe, they loved narrow gauge because it took up less space to build the roadbed, to build the space to run the trains. Therefore, it was less expensive to still extract the gold ores out of the mountains. And so that's what Otto Mears decided to do. And it turned out to be a winner as that railroad lasted, the Rio Grande Southern lasted well past 1951 when it was dissolved on paper. So Joshua, you are the proud owner of Leitner Trestle. You are the proud owner of that, I think it was 5 feet by 8 foot, maybe 10 foot long layout. There's a great part of it, including the log mill. There's a lot that ran up the center of the room here that I made the executive decision to get rid of in that I needed more space for people so I could produce this show.
Right.
So you're the proud owner of that layout. Now, so tell us what you're thinking about doing with it.
Well, I'm thinking about selling it. I'm reducing my footprint in the model railroading world. I'm getting out of my friend's giant basement with all of my stuff, and I'm bringing it to my basement, which is considerably smaller. So I'm think I'm going to sell Leitner Trestle. I'm going to sell the whole layout, I think.
Leitner Trestle is the most accurate model of that trestle that I know. That I mean, I nailed it. I built it accurately, dimensionally accurate. I took 9 months.
It is an amazing
To build that right.
piece of art.
It is that.
And so I'm going to get rid of it with a passenger set of trains and some Blackstone models. And yeah, so if anyone's interested in an amazing model, reach out to us. Get us
Readers' comments.
Yeah,
Find out a way for us to contact you. You'll need a truck.
yeah,
A big truck.
Yeah, yeah,
Not a pickup truck.
yeah.
It even comes with a lot of it comes with bench work.
And it's a big layout. You'll need some big space, but depending on where you live, and you never know. Mike, Buddy, and I could show up in a U-Haul if you buy it.
Mike, Buddy, right at your door.
Yeah.
As I recall, it was about 22 feet this way, and it went about 9.5 feet that way as an L.
I believe so.
A big
yes.
L, if you kept it all together. Leitner Trestle in itself would definitely make something for a museum out there to purchase because, again, it is the most accurate HO scale model of Leitner Trestle. I want to say, I can't say it's the most accurate one ever built because a lot of men out there have nailed it. They've built it right. But this one is definitely the most accurate I could build. I built it to courtroom standards, which is where I could not be off by less than 2%.
Yeah,
And actually, I wasn't off at all.
It's an amazing model, and you can check out footage of it on the hourly show at Model Railroad Hobbyist. We had it issued all summer, and you can go look at it on Fountain City Railroad, and you can also contact me through Fountain City Railroad or What's Neat on Facebook.
That is true. It's like giving up a child.
It is. It is. I want to find a good home for it that someone's going to nurture it.
I just don't have
and
the
take
space
care
for
of
it down here.
I don't either. I really want to keep it, but life happens.
Okay, rock and roll, and that's everything on my show notes.
Perfect. I want to talk about these cars over here that
What do you
Mike's
got?
got. Mike's got these cars.
Oh,
look at 'em.
these steel plate loading cars.
I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, I was inspired by a photograph in the MKT and Frisco Color Guide Morning Sun book by Nicholas Molo. You might recognize his name of Moloko Models. So Nick, compiled all this history and photographs of all these different cars. I don't know how he did it, but there's a very nice photograph of I think it's a green one. I can't remember. I got the book and I was going to bring it along, and of course I left it laying there. So anyway, these are really just roundhouse MDC 60-foot flat cars that I modified. I cut the ends off and put running boards from Plano on there, and then I just built the rest of it up in styrene to look like the photos. And then these steel plates are just styrene, of course, that I painted. But the idea was they could haul, plates up like 12 or 15 feet wide at an angle like that and still keep
Meet
the
all the
side
marks.
clearances.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What a great idea.
Anyway, I thought those were pretty interesting.
If you
cars
ran the
and-
car without a load, it would look cool.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
It's
Yeah,
very
something
much
you
so.
don't
Something
see all the
different,
time. Yeah. So anyway, then this car here is an Atlas caboose that I did a lot of work to represent the bicentennial caboose that's still in Windsor, Missouri. I went up there one time and photographed it and measured it, and I modified this Atlas model. The main modification was changing the roof, because this is one of the 10 Darby built cabooses that MKT had, and they had flat roofs, so I had to, I can't remember, but
That's
I think
smooth.
I think I
it's
smoothed
really
all
cool.
the rivets off. I mean, all the ribs off, and kept the what was left of this, and smoothed it as best I
Very
could.
cool.
I can't remember, but then I had to move some windows around and then blank out some different windows, and it still needs. It's been sitting for a long time. I just recently got it out, and I did my Scotch tape windows on it, on the cupola. But I still need like the firecracker antenna, the toilet vent, and the guy wires holding that, the vent down there. I don't know. There's just a lot of little things I could still do to it. I mean, you could go nuts.
Yeah, you can
Yes,
all
where do
day
you
and all
stop?
night. and-
Yeah, but this was I always wanted to build a model of that bicentennial one, and I think later on it got repainted into green. It was number 130 before and after the bicentennial number of 76. So I got a Surgent coupler on the end of it, and I try and put the Surgent highly detailed model on at least one end of all my cabooses, just for
Nice,
added realism.
yeah. That's very cool.
So, and then we got Bernard's things up here that he sent from Mini Prints.
I can't see him, but what did he bring?
A manure spreader, you guys said?
Yeah, now something about that manure spreader. We missed this a couple weeks
Is
ago
that
because
the big trailer?
Yeah.
yeah, this actually happened while we were in Lombard, but he officially announced his special deal with Chris Palmieri of Home Shops. That Chris Palmieri was making, and they both had these announcements respectively at the NMRA convention back in August. Bernard Helen was making an outhouse complete with, and it was a cooperative effort between him and ITLA scale models to make a laser cut wood outhouse with a figure sitting in it, using it. And then Iowa Scaled Engineering was also then going to produce a sound module to go with the outhouse. So
What kind of sounds would that be?
the
Use
crap
your own
pe-
imagination,
the crap
folks.
people
Yeah.
think up, right? At any rate, so I
they
saw
don't do
at
the
the
smell.
same show that Chris Palmieri was producing this box car for the Suffern Hoboken Interstate Transfer. And so we know what what that acronym would be. And I was like, Chris, Bernard, you two have got to get together. And so they worked out this deal where if you buy a Suffern Hoboken Interstate Transfer car, type in the code, and then buy 2 more cars from Chris, you get one of the outhouses without the sound thrown in from Bernard. So that is a craptastic deal, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he just say that?
Yeah.
I did. I
Are we
mean,
allowed to say that by the FCC?
I don't know.
yeah, I think so, yeah.
We'll cut that all out.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah, well, just don't make the sound effects, right?
Right.
So he also made your grill.
He
Yes.
also printed my one of my grills. This is the open grill model
Okay.
with a turkey that I drew up in 3D just on time for Thanksgiving. I think this was
Just
his
perfect.
was his October release, so on time for Canadian Thanksgiving as well. This is the same model. It's available from James Regier Models, and I also have several other variants of that available if you like.
There you go.
So, but yeah, that's a model that I drew up.
Perfect.
And speaking of 3D models, I see the Budweiser Clydesdales.
Well,
there.
not
Yeah.
the Budweiser
Hold on.
Clydesdales.
Oh,
We'll-
just
Oh, they're
the
just
Clydesdales.
those other clients.
Just the
The
Clydesdales.
rest of the mini print stuff, he redid his coyotes.
He
He
re-
redid
Yeah.
the coyotes, so
Yeah.
he offers there's 4 coyotes there, and I don't know what the last thing is, Mike.
Like some sacks of
Sacks?
something. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I don't know who this guy is.
And hopefully Richard
And
can
that's
get all this.
that's
so I don't have to
actually a
shoot you
chef
all.
that Bernard 3D scanned
Oh,
in his
okay.
chef whites.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
holding a pair of
Chef
tongs.
Chris, I think it is, holding a pair of tongs.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very
Tend to
cool.
the turkey on that smoker. So
that's
I see,
perfect.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
That's a nice detail.
yeah,
Yeah, very
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. You want to go from there?
I want to
So-
talk about these.
These Clydesdales are hauling this freight wagon.
I see.
Now, the reason I like there are many different breweries and many different businesses that use these freight wagons back in the 1920s, you know, and before automobiles and internal combustion became prevalent. They would use these big draft animals, these Clydesdales,
Horsepower.
to haul around there. Right. Exactly. That's real horsepower.
I know,
Right.
Yeah, and
Ba-dum-bum.
so at any rate, I've retooled this wagon, and it's going to be going for sale probably before the week is out.
Okay.
On James Regier's models. Just whenever I do a retooling like that, I got to print a test sample or two to make sure that it still prints all right and that all the parts go together as they should. And there's a lot of parts to this particular model.
Okay.
So it comes with the so that you can model it loaded or unloaded. Everything's so it's all separate parts so that you can
That's
make your own decisions on what you want to do with it. But I added little handrails. That was another one of the things at the NMRA convention. That Rapido, they had a mock-up of one of their, I think it's their new GP50 that they're coming out with. That they had it done up for that they're doing MKT as well as their MKT slug that they made with one of theirs.
Wow.
And
Very cool.
they had actual grab irons that they 3D printed on that thing. And so
Man.
that made me rethink what's possible. So yeah.
Very nice. These Santa Fe engines are really nice too.
Call units.
Yeah, these
FP45s?
yeah.
Yes.
These are these have been here before. I just had them out, at K10s, running them around the layout on Thursday, and had a great time doing that. And just thought, why not bring them along?
When I was a kid, that was one of my most favorite locomotives, and I'm not sure why. Maybe because Woolworth had one in stock, and I loved it so much.
Yeah.
course.
But when I went to Philmont, New Mexico in Boy Scouts, I actually took a piece of pine and my knife, and I carved out an FP45 during that week. It was more like in between S scale and N scale, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But I couldn't help myself. I was away from home. I missed my trains, and I had my knife and a piece of wood, and I made me an FP45.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
True story.
and these all emerged. I mean, you probably caught the aesthetic look of these things,
I
and
did.
it really appealed to them.
Yeah.
The Santa Fe was looking to replace the F units.
Yes.
In the late 1960s, they were all getting to be pretty old units. They were needing to replace them with something, but the Santa Fe was very committed to its passenger service. In fact, they were almost drawn into Amtrak kicking and screaming. And they did not feel like the hood units that a lot of the other railroads were turning to looked right for passenger service.
Right.
So they contracted with EMD to make these cowl units that are basically in SD45 with the steam generator that is all hooded over with a nice cowl, so it looks a little bit more like their F units. They did the same with General Electric. Now they ordered the U28CG and they ordered the U30CG, which was a cowl unit. And I'm currently working on one of those models for Denny.
That's right.
And the latest project, I don't have good photos of it. I've been working on redesigning the fuel tank to actually fit on that Atlas frame that we're using, because it seems that one of the things these shell manufacturers neglect completely is the fuel tank. You know, just it fits on an Atlas shell, great. You ignore the fuel tank. Well, the fills don't line up, right? That if you put it on a U30G or U30C frame, that fuel fill is in the wrong place for both the fuel and water fills that the passenger unit would have taken. And so that's what I'm working on correcting to make sure that everything gets lined up correctly, that you have the division lines on the tank where they need to be, and all that stuff.
Very cool.
So,
There you go.
yeah.
All right, so why are there switch engines on the table?
I don't
here?
know, but those
SW 1500s?
Those are darn pretty.
Those are Atlas?
Those are Missouri Pacific.
Yes,
Yep.
they
Yeah.
are.
They're
So the
pretty.
question came tonight. I don't know how we started talking about this. Maybe because longevity and things like that come into play as you get older. As I'm pushing 60 soon here. That's not really old. I'm sorry. Oh, I know, right? Anyway, if I had to give up everything down here, what would I keep? If I had to walk away from everything and just keep something for a 6 foot by 1 foot diorama, what models would I absolutely not give up? And that is what's on the table tonight. The SW 1500s in Mopac with the caboose.
Is that a brass caboose or is
It's
that
not.
one
That's
of
the
the,
one.
Buford shop.
Buford shop.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're very
And Bachman just is now offering that right now also, which is a blessing, and I'd like to get one of the Bachman models
are
to
those
share.
44 tonners over there too?
And the other thing is this little side rod switcher. Now the first one is an Overland Models brass side rod switcher that used to look like this, but I modified it and added some length to it and added a whole bunch of details to it because at the time, back in 1989, I was starting to get into soldering and I wanted to solder as many detail parts onto it as I could, including brass handrails. And so that was my little dream switcher for the 6 foot by 1 foot diorama that I used to have, that I'm probably showing you right now with the original Overland Models side rod switcher on it that was in, I painted it green with white stripes. And then the basis, the frame, I took out the Overland, what I did was I put an N-scale Atlas motor frame and found out that the side rod brass Overland trucks matched up to the Atlas perfectly with no modification.
Wow.
So I was able to just add the Atlas motor and the Atlas gears to the HO scale side rod trucks, and it came out perfect. Never ran that great. And then Bachman came out with the side rod switcher about 10 years ago, which was a blessing. And so I've got a few of those that I proudly own. So if I had to give up everything in my arsenal, I would go back to a small diorama, super detail it. I mean, I built the John Allen engine house board by board, including all the rafters. I'm showing you those pictures right now too. I was so amazingly into it in 1988 and 1989 of scratch building before I started the Midwest Valley Modelers layout. So that's what I would keep. I don't know why I decided to talk about that tonight. Because we were talking about it tonight.
Yeah.
Like, if I had to give up everything, what would I keep? Is that crazy? That's what I would keep.
I get it. There's engines that I'll never let go. They'll put them in my casket.
I'm sorry to all the manufacturers out there to make all these engines, but if you got a 6 foot by 1 foot diorama, I don't need -9s. I don't have a place to run them. I'm just going back and forth, doing my little industry, tricking out my little buildings.
But they look pretty.
Just being a simple model railroader again. It's
No,
like
but
you
you're not
start
there
out in
yet.
diapers, you live your life, and you end up in diapers again. So this is what I would end up in.
Well, I mean, that's the,
diapers. Okay.
You know what I mean? You start out small.
That's designer
You
diapers.
get crazy,
there.
and then you go small again, is the way I envision it.
That's the Gucci of diapers.
It's the
okay?
conversation we were having an hour before the show
Yeah.
tonight, and that's how this all happened.
well, that's one thing I was noticing while we were making all those layout tours in Chicago, right? Like, you have all these different layouts that are absolutely humongous, where you can run these long passenger trains. You saw that Santa Fe guy. You also saw the Midwest Valley or Midwest Modelers Club there in.
I don't remember the names of all of them. I don't have it in
The
front of me right
towns,
now.
Yeah.
But at any rate, you had these big old clubs where you could run these full-length passenger trains. How many home layouts
Right.
would you actually
Right.
be able to do that effectively?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
I mean, it would take quite a huge operation. So I totally get where you want to where.
It's,
The
you know,
bigger stuff is absolutely beautiful and pretty, and it's stuff we see on the line every day, but
Yep.
it doesn't scale to your basement.
I'm not being
unfortunately.
condescending to any of the manufacturers that make all this beautiful stuff that you see behind us here. But again, if it came down to the point where I am in a small space, I'm back in an apartment, I don't know how, somehow I lose everything I got, that's what I would walk away with. Period. So Joshua, you brought an Exxon station. Tell us about
Yes.
I
this.
did. So our friend Campbell Rice turned me onto this company. It's called
Yeah.
Summit Models, and you can find them at summit.com, I believe. But this is the Exxon gas station, and I haven't done anything to the interior. This is pretty much the base package that you get with it. But you know, it's has really detailed stickers. It's a little more on the advanced side of putting it together. But you know, if you kind of know how it is in your head, it's pretty easy.
It's a 4-pump station. Holly would be like, that would be easy.
Yeah.
Actually, that's
But-
8 because it's on both sides.
But at the time I was looking for a more modern gas station, this one really stood out above the rest of the time. They have a lot of great, you know, like I said, the stickers are very, very well done.
Look
and
like photo reductions.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Even the cigarette stickers on the front of the thing. So I'm going to get with
Summit
with-
has a lot of modern
a whole
buildings
lot
like
of
this.
stuff. Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe they have like Dollar General stores and
Oh yeah,
a lot
like
of stuff that you
fast
see
food
in-
places, Taco Bell's, Pizza
yeah.
Hut, maybe,
So-
but yeah, like little strip malls and
Yeah.
everything. They lot
So,
of stuff.
I mean, this is uber detailable. You know, the
I like
inside
that.
is pretty much basic, but you know, one call to Vic Smith and you'll have a 7-Eleven in there.
Gosh, Vic Smith.
So, you know,
So awesome.
before I took this off my layout, I had the lighting underneath it. I've disconnected all that for now, but it looks really great lit up, and you know,
Yes.
some good lighting from the ground really makes the sign and everything else just
Yeah.
pop. So, if you're looking for more modern stuff, check out Summit Models. They're really cool.
I'll tell you what, that conversation we just had about what it is you would end up with if you had to get rid of everything and just keep something that you really, really, really want. I'm sure that's already happened.
Oh yeah,
And I'm sure there's
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of people out there that are right now looking around their room saying, what would I keep?
Look at me. I mean, I'm downsizing from a huge 2 layouts to a lot smaller of a space, you know. But I love the uber modern stuff. I love the town, you know. That's what DeSoto is a giant town. So I'm still going to be doing DeSoto and the town and stuff because you can just go nuts on, I mean, you've seen from other modelers how basic small spots can be uber detailed.
oh yeah,
Absolutely. Steve Mantilla, you look like you brought something really special in S-Scale.
Yes, S-Scale for a change.
Yay.
Usually I tend to bring the Lionel or anything O-scale, and I've brought some G-scale before, but this is a GG1, of course, Pennsylvania, the Tuscan red there, and it's American Models manufacturer, so it's a little more modern than the normal American Flyer, is what I've been told, that type of thing. Now, of course, I don't have any means to test anything like that, but it's just one of those I picked up as a collection of trains. You know, you're always trying to get something different, one to have on your table that gets people to stop
Yeah.
at different things that you have. So, and besides, I don't think no matter what scale a GG1 is, it always
Always
jumps
looks
cool.
out.
They're
I guess
classic.
it's always
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
always that type of thing. So it's one of those that, you know, as you have to sell things, this would be one of those. That would be maybe towards the end, you know. So it's sort of always hard to decide. Yes, if you had to limit yourself down to what you want to keep, that type of thing. And it also came with 3 passenger cars, which I didn't bring with me also, but they look very nice also. So
Very cool.
S-scale for a change.
If you need some S-scale track, you can go to Micro Engineering and pick some up. I
that would
believe
be
they
worth
have
it. Yeah, that's
S-scale
a-
track, don't they? Oh,
Nope.
boys.
I'm not gonna. We're not gonna edit that out. But we'd love to know how y'all are doing down there in Fenton. I have not been down there in months and months, and I need to get down there and see how you boys are doing, how the move is going. We'd love to have you all back on the show with an update on that to see how one of our favorite track manufacturers that makes all the track on my layout look. So, Mike, I'm going to throw it to you and put you on the spot, unrehearsed, ready, set, go. If you had to give up everything you had and you were moving and downsizing to a small, beautiful apartment in Florida, what would you keep?
Well, it would be auto racks for sure.
Would it be auto racks?
Some of my early ones, maybe, you know, and then some of the more detailed ones, and maybe like 100 others.
Yeah, 100.
You got to keep the
100,000,
Vertipack.
Yeah.
And you got to
I
keep
mean-
you got to keep the little street part of your layout with the Ford
Yeah,
dealership
yeah,
and the
that's-
brick. I mean,
And don't forget the caboose with that guy picking up the orders.
So you better get a larger
Yeah.
condo.
yeah.
You're going to need a larger condo.
They don't have basements in
Add another
Florida.
And that's
Or
only
boat.
one of my hobbies.
yeah.
So
Oh
anyway.
my goodness gracious.
Wow. I love hobbies.
I love this hobby and I love you guys. I want to say thank you so much for everything that we've done since 2017 producing this show. My father again told me that so many people walked up to him and said, "We've seen you and we've seen your son and the boys on the What's Neat show," and that's how we learned about your train show. Now, Steve, you got a train show coming up. What are the dates of that? That's coming up this fall, correct?
Well, in December, we have our train show. The second Saturday in December was it December 9th at the American Eagles in Arnold. The Arnold
American
Eagles.
Eagles
the
Lodge?
Arnold, the
Yeah.
Arnold Eagles. I'm thinking American Flyer right now. I got also with that, but it's the Arnold Eagles.
Okay.
In Jeffco, we'll have our train show there. But I'm actually excited that this month Glenda and I have 3 train shows we're doing.
Okay.
Next weekend we'll be at the Springfield Train Show, and then there's one in Dupo, and then we also have the one in Collinsville.
Yes.
So it's the first time I've had this many train shows in 1 month, so we're sort of excited to get the truck and the trailer and get the stuff loaded and get the correct tablecloths out. I think there'll be frosties on our tables, so that's the most important thing
Absolutely.
is the
Proper decoration.
proper decoration
Right.
and that type of aspect.
You need to
So
get some little candy canes and have them in a cup so you can give out free candy.
we have free candy, yes, we do have the little candy that
Nice.
gives out that way, that people can come by and get that. So no, we're really excited to see the shows. That's why I was so excited how well the show went today, that I hope that just carries on to all the shows that we go to, and even in my show in December. So I'm looking forward to that.
We'll keep promoting that show for you and see how it turns out. We promoted that show going on 3 years now. You got to say that back in 2012 with the What's Neat show at Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine is about when I started promoting the RPM meet.
Yep.
And we promoted that show year after year after year, showing the venue, showing the models, interviewing people, to the point where we had people coming from around the world, from Australia and New Zealand, from all corners of the globe to come here to St. Louis to come to that show, so that we know that this little thing that we produce, the shows on YouTube, through the model magazines and through this podcast that we do, does in fact help promote the hobby and increase the attendees to these shows, which is a good thing. We're glad to do it. We're happy to do it. And we do want to see the shows grow. One thing my father said to me on the phone today was There was a lot of young people at his show in Sedalia today.
good.
A
That's
lot
good to
of
hear.
young people. They all got, the youngins get in for free. But there was a lot, he said.
That's always very
Good.
good. That's the
Yeah.
one thing you want. It's nice to have the normal regulars come to the show. But
Yeah.
more
Well-
you can get the families and just people to get interested.
Absolutely.
Like, that's where you want. Just where we were talking about with Menards last week. Just
Yes.
Getting the normal people, however you want to call it there.
Yeah.
Just
Huh.
get the,
Normal.
Get the,
Well,
look at us here. Yeah.
Look at the strides that these
we're
companies
kind of a bad
have
example of
made.
normal. I guess.
Look at the strides these companies have made to bring the younger people into the hobby. All the stuff on the face or on their phones and iPads and
Right.
the Blue Nami stuff just blows me away. How easily it is to consist and do all it's amazing the strides that people are taking to get the younger people in the hobby. So
Ken,
it's-
you brought up the RPM a minute ago. I wanted to let everybody know that that our meet this coming summer has been moved to the preceding weekend. That it's going to be on July 19th and 20th,
Okay.
2024. And I talked to Lonnie Bathurst, and he confirmed that. I don't know any details why it's been moved, but all the flyers that everybody got this summer has the following weekend listed, and that's what it originally was, but it has been changed.
Okay.
Thank you
So
for
a lot
that
of people
update.
might
Yep.
have to pick vacations, and
Right, may already have it booked, so
Right.
make sure
people fly in
the
from all over
19th
the
and the
world,
20th
you
of
know.
July. So, yeah.
This is crazy. I
Right,
find
yeah.
myself gravitating to wanting to model Amtrak more.
Yeah,
I mean, come on. I was up at Lombard's. We were up there. We were having so much fun. And I didn't actually buy anything. But there's an Amtrak train up there
Yeah.
made by Rapido. There's two of them right at the front door in these white boxes that I just might pull the trigger on for Christmas. 'Cause
The turbo train or
is
the
that what it's
LRC?
called?
They
Yeah,
have
turbo
they have a
train.
turbo train, and they also have
It
the
was
LRC.
painted in the Amtrak Acela paint scheme. I actually found a prototype picture in one of my old Amtrak books over here on the shelf.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that might be my Christmas present I buy myself. I'm not sure. Usually after 2 weeks, you get over the impulse of, I want that.
Yeah,
And this
right.
one hasn't gone away yet.
sounds serious.
I'm telling you what,
Yeah.
man. Like I need another train.
Right.
All right, this is the best hobby in the world with some of the best people in it sitting right around us at the table. Next week, we have special guest Joey
Yeah.
Ginto.
Yeah,
coming on the
Joey
show
Gento.
next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The following week, we've got Broadway Limited going to be on the show. Curtis,
cool.
he was a great guest to have on the show
Yeah.
previously. He's coming back on for the third week of November.
Yep.
And then it's Thanksgiving, so we got to talk about maybe what I could do to get you to cook dinner.
All right, let's see.
So rock and roll, guys. Let's take the NCE system. Let's put that Amtrak train over there back on the track.
All right.
Right? And let's go run some
Back
trains.
on the
All
track,
right.
Jack.
Bye, everybody.
Okay. Thumbnail.
Thumbnail. I don't know what I want to hold.
Oh my God, I can't believe I said I want to buy that
Thumbnail.
train.
You do want to buy that.
It's so pretty. It would look. I'm starting to think I want to model Amtrak. 50
You
years of
should.
modeling. 50
should.
years.
You should model Amtrak.
Right?
You should do the station downtown as it is right now.
Oh wow, that would be huge.
No.
Can I hold your locomotive?
Go ahead. I've always loved these.
All right.
Like this.
Ready, set, and look at camera number 1 and show teeth. And we have a thumbnail. Keep camera 1 rolling for 45 seconds.
44,
As I kill
43,
sound.
42.
Here, James, you can hold yourself again.
Oh.
And I hopefully we have.
I got my whole self in my hand. I got my whole darn self.
Just sitting here holding myself.
Yeah, that's it.
Our 20-minute show turned into a 40-minute show.
We have good sound.
It was a darn good show.
Rock and roll.
Yay, high five. All right.
Although the gas station needs to have the prices changed because
You
they
know,
go
Yeah.
up and down so fast.
They were,
you know,
right.
they were the entire time
can
that I
really
voted, it's never been accurate.
Yeah, that's
so.
it. That sort of dates the sign. You know, it could be Monday. It's this price, and then
Right.